we forward, we record. All right, everybody. Welcome to a new episode of Fire Films. I am one of your co-hosts, LK the Guy, the Deity, the Mogul. And I'm here with some wonderful and fabulous guests. Not guests, co-hosts. All right, but first, let's start with all the advertisement. As you can see, we have merch available. Fire Squad, just hit up, somebody from the Fire Squad Mafia. We will direct you how to get some. Also, when you see this video on YouTube, make sure you comment, subscribe, leave a like. And if you see us on Apple Podcasts, leave a 5-star review and also comment and stuff. And also, if you have like a topic or something, or you have some merchandise you want to do, or you want, you want to give us a shout out or whatever, just contact us on Fire Squad Network at gmail.com. Now to the co-hosts. I am here with C Jizzle, live from Liberty Sizzle, aka Puff Go Poppy. What we puffing on today?
Today we got the live THCA. I promise it's not crack cocaine. It just looks like crack. It is just pure THC. You mix it on your rosin and you just have yourself a good time. It's pretty great. Blue River, shout out to Blue River Terps for making that happen down here in Florida. And yeah.
All right, next we have dun 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 dun. Hit it one time. We have Funko Pop Poppy, aka Sith Lord. He's in the building.
What's popping? What's going on, man?
Also, we have the immaculate Mike. You see the mic, it stands up about 4 feet tall. I call him Bubsy, aka Ein Schneeler. Look, that costs $5,000, everybody. $5,000 plus tax. Bubba, he's in the building.
What's up, everybody?
Also, we have in the background, he's just getting off work, but he decided to come kick it with us and talk Squid Games. Sniper Lead, Nick and I.
What's good with you?
Hey.
My background's still loud.
Hey.
Why can't you hardly hear me?
Hey. All right, we want to go ahead and get started. Okay. Today, we're talking the very popular, the very popping, it's taking Netflix by storm. I heard it's on pace to be the #1 stream show on the #1 stream anything on Netflix.
Not on pace, it is.
Oh, well, it is.
Wow.
Squid Game. All right, so let's start with initial thoughts. What did y'all think about it? Well, what did y'all think first looking at it? Let's start with C Jizzle.
I liked it. I mean, I think it's going to be some differing opinions on here from what I've kind of heard earlier, but I thought it was really solid. I mean, I think it's one of the few shows that I thought it was going to be overhyped. I didn't come in super pressed to watch this. I kind of been holding out for weeks, kind of yeah, I hear this. I see all the memes. I'll get around to it. And I finally got around to it. And, it didn't grab me crazy the first episode, but I think really towards the middle, I really got into the story. I think it was a well-crafted story. I think it was well made. I don't think they did anything to reinvent the wheel or do anything groundbreaking. We've seen battle royale type stories like this before, but I just think it was just a solidly done show. I thought it was fun. I thought it was like I said, well crafted. I think the characters were likable. I think most of the performances were good. I just enjoyed it pretty solidly throughout.
All right, let's go to Funko Poppy.
Oh, can I get my next hour?
Go ahead, yeah. You're mobile. Go ahead.
So it was good. I thought it was definitely good. Like CJ said, they ain't reinvent the wheel or nothing. But I think this was the most palatable death game for audience. We've seen death games before, but this death game was good in sub and dub. You know what I'm saying? And the acting was pretty good. The performances were pretty good. They had good actors. So I feel like this was the entry-level death game for a lot of people. Their first. So that's why it's really, really, really popular. But nonetheless, I still probably give it a really good score. It's still really, really good. Has all the traditional tropes of a death game, the friendship, the thievery, the backstabbing. That's what death games are all about. So, solid. It's solid.
All right. Now to Siflo.
Um, my honest opinion, I really didn't like it. I'm not gonna say it was bad, and I'm not gonna say it was great. It was, in fact, a decent battle royale type game. But it just lacked, like, I'm not gonna say it lacked emotions and stuff like that, but like after that first game of red light, green light, where like, everyone not everyone, but like, a boatload of people got killed off. I was like, oh yeah, man, everybody's dying. Like I expect to see this, like, the other 8 episodes. Now people were not dying off like red light, green light. It the games were whack to me, but I understand that, like, that's Korean culture. That's what they played when they were growing up, all that and whatnot. So I mean, I can't be mad at that, but just me personally, I just didn't like it. That's all. Like the ending was very called for. Like, it was predictable, especially with Gramps over here. That was very predictable. But that last scene with what's dude's name from Final Fantasy 7 with the red hair? Yeah, him. Yeah. Once he made that little, U-turn at the airport, I was like, all right, see this terrible. Your life.
The ending was anime as hell. Like the ending was so, you could tell that's like something they took straight out of certain mangas from Death Games.
Yeah.
Yep. All right. Bubba, what you think about on first initial watch? First thoughts, you know what I'm saying?
So I have a couple of biases. Number one, I've seen a good amount of Death Games before. My first Death Game was an anime called Mirai Nikki. Then I loved Alice in Borderland. The live action did amazing in my opinion. What I wasn't a fan of Squid Game. I wasn't a fan of Squid Game because I felt like a lot of the politicism was a little bit too on the nose, and I actually don't like when my media gets too over politicized because I'm still there to consume a product that's essentially supposed to make me happy in a sense, or at least like provoke some sort of emotion. But aside from that, I'm not going to take away from the fact that it was very well executed. The acting, even with and I like Nick said, I watched the sub and the dub. The dub surprised me at how well those voice actors did, especially like the old man, and even with them not like lining up with what they're actually saying, still a lot of the voices carried through with that emotion with them, and I feel like Netflix is doing a pretty good job for that. That's how I believe that they're trying to stand out from the rest of the pack. Aside from my gripes, the show was very well executed. I feel like it was very well written. The story, I'm not a huge fan of in general, but the way that they did it was very well executed. Like there were some things that obviously everyone I feel like saw coming, like what Poppy said about the old man. I saw the whole brother thing coming. Obviously, we know certain people were going to last into the end. I didn't know literally just one person was going to last into the end. That took me off guard. But overall, a good watch. I'd recommend it to people. Would I watch it again personally? My biases say no. My biases will say I'm just going to watch Alice in Borderland, a better version of this. But it is still a pretty sterling watch.
So I wasn't tripping when people were like, yeah, there can only be one winner. So I wasn't tripping because I know that they said earlier that like whoever wins, they'll split the money, right? They did say that, right?
Well, I was under the understanding that whatever number group of people who is alive at the end of all the games, y'all win the money betwixt yourself. That's what I was thinking.
No, and at not one point did they ever say, hey, only one person can walk out of this, until police homeboy found all that little evidence in that back room that had like, the list of winners, and it's always come out to be one.
Yeah, I think it's because it's designed. Like, so they didn't say that, but like they designed the game so only one person will make it to the end just by the nature of the game.
Like one of the games was actually unwinnable. So I'm like,
some of the stuff like it's no way people would make it to the end just the way they design the games. Like you said, that's why every year it's only one winner.
It's a little confusing though, because even with that, as we've all clearly saw, the very last game is set up in a way for multiple people to play, which was already confusing. And even with the last 3 remaining, those 3 could have, had Shorty not gotten stabbed or taken one to the gut, it would have been more than just 2 people playing. And I looked up the actual Squid Game itself, and it's meant for teams, so it was a little confusing. I felt like that was a welcome amount of confusion for me, where it was like, oh, was this meant for more than 2 people, or wasn't it? It's up to you to decide whether you enjoyed that or not. But I did find it a little confusing.
Yeah, if we're gonna get into gripes, my only gripe was like their whole thing was about fairness, but I feel like sometimes they were completely unfair, where they were just like, we're just gonna throw the rules out. It was like first they're like, we are completely about fairness, and when dude figured out the glass, they're like, turn out the lights, man, fuck this. Wait, how is that fair? Like, wait a minute.
Before
and how is
we
like
completely
Shorty
shit on it.
Yeah, like Shorty beat the bridge challenge, and then they blow up the bridge and and she gets impaled by the glass. Like, how is that fair? She's like, completes the challenge.
Hold on, for that bridge part, I'm guessing that the glass tiles exploded like that for the simple fact of for the people who were going to be remaining on that bridge.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? For the whole
I feel that
dramatic effect of like, if you're left on this bridge, you're exploding and falling down to your death, just like that.
No, I feel that for the dramatic effect, but I feel like her getting out of the game like that is not fair because she beat the challenge. So it's like they should have at least helped her and given her some medical attention or something. It's just like because that wasn't her fault. Like she beat the damn challenge and got impaled by your damn glass. That was your pyrotechnics guy.
Well,
that ain't my fault.
Yeah. So CJ, before, like I was gonna say, before we can, there's B-Mac. Hey, before we completely shit on the TV show, let's get to CJ's plane landing sequence. Now, CJ, for this segment, we always throw it to CJ because he keeps it straight, no chase. And the plane landing sequence is when we talk about, did the plane land? Did the movie tie up all its loose ends? Did the ending make sense? Was it good? And this is the greatest metaphor ever. So, CJ, Squid Game, did the plane land?
For me, I think the plane landed pretty safely. Like my ears popped. Like it wasn't perfect. Like I said, I got like some criticisms, and I feel some of you guys' criticisms, especially with some of the predictability of some of the stuff. Like the old man thing, like I didn't see coming from a mile away, but it didn't surprise me once I saw it. It's like, okay, yeah, we didn't see about, but in the brother thing, I did see from a mile away, where it's like, we keep bringing up this dude's brother. Somebody's got to be this man's brother because like we have spent so much time on this. Like, so yeah, so it's like some of the twists in the end were a little predictable, and some of the stuff is a little cliffhanger-ish, like, hey, you guys want another season? Because we can do another season if you want, kind of stuff. So, I like I said, not perfect, but at the same time, it was a smooth landing for me. Like I said, I don't think there was anything that ruined the plane landing. Like I said, and nothing more than a minor inconvenience. Maybe my headphones went out or something, but like,
knocked your headphones out. Oh man. All right. So we got that out the way. What is your favorite game that they played?
Red light, green light.
Yeah, it's like you said, favorite or like
pretty much the best one.
Yeah.
Well, the most your favorite. I mean,
red light, green light.
The one you like the most.
Red light, green light.
I love
kind of one.
The cookie. The cookie made me look at umbrellas differently.
I don't know. I think the marble challenge is brutal because just as soon as that moment where that husband and wife get together and they're just like, your opponent, and it's just like,
I have some questions about that. Now that's taken to what we said earlier, right? Where this game was never designed for multiple motherfuckers to win at the same time, because they purposely said partner up, but they never said the person you partner up with is gonna die. They never said that.
Some of those games are designed to cut the field in half, literally, like tug of war and things like that. It's like, I mean, you're getting halved. Somebody's falling. So, I mean, tug of war is also extremely brutal because it's just like, I don't want to actually murder these people like physically myself, but like,
Yeah.
you got to do what you got to do. I'm not about to get pulled off this insanely high thing.
Right.
Yeah, tug of war is definitely number 2, and the glass thing would have probably been tied for number 2 if like they weren't dicks, I guess. Like I feel like they should have had more. They should have had more players for that glass bridge challenge. That would have made it a little bit more interesting, and with the same amount of time though. So like instead of 16 players, they could have had like 26 players. Like, hey, y'all all got 2 minutes to go across. So get to stepping. Homeboy who died though on the bridge. That was really funny with the chick, whatever her name is. I don't know her name. Yeah, the annoying one. They both fucked in the bathroom. Yeah, that was hilarious, bro. And the second I saw that, I was like, yo, this reminds me of Cybermen and Yamcha. And I swear on everything. 2 minutes later on Twitter, the meme came up. I was like, bro, see, exactly. That there it is.
So I'm not mad at that moment. I'm not saying that like I liked the woman. I have nothing to be ashamed of. I thought she was one of my favorite characters. I hated her, but she was also one of my favorite characters because she was the only real memorable person from the show aside from young Indian homie, and also that was the only death that really hurt me. I won't lie about that. But what I was pissed off about is she was one of the most entertaining characters in the sense that like you kind of hated her existence, but you paid attention because she was so loud. I felt personally slighted that they did not give her more of a gratifying death for us. Like, how is it that y'all chose to show an old lady with her brains literally coming out of her head on the ground, just gruesome as hell, didn't want to see that, and then y'all just turned the camera away for her, Cyberman Yamcha, like this man to the ground? I mean, like, I know it's supposed to be a little mysterious, but that's just what makes me go, okay, obviously they survived. Like, they're anytime that, like, that's one thing I learned about any sort of like any sort of culture from the east side of the globe is that if you don't see the death, they might still be left.
Right.
That's always rule number 1 to anything. If you don't see the physical body or the actual inflicted kill shot, they're still alive. And once they jumped to the next episode and showed Ali in the casket, I was like, oh, bro, the old man is in cahoots with, like, the games. Ain't no way. Come on, bro. They showed all these other old people dying and getting shot and butchered and everything, but grandpa, no grandpa. All right,
yeah,
it's him.
Yeah. That was the first thing that kind of gave away the game too, because it's like at least they showed us Ali, where it's like, nah, we tried to figure out, but he dead, son. They
I knew Grandpa was in it the moment he was good at every single game for no reason.
Yeah, he was too good at every game. Like, I got this.
Like, exactly.
Not to mention the dude who came to kill him paused. Like, he literally came over there and was like, you know what time it is, Chief. Meanwhile, everywhere else, they're waiting with the gun in hand, looking for your last marble. Like, yo, my finger is just itching here.
Yeah. You guys are right. Welcome to the show. Be mad.
It's good. How y'all doing? I'm back.
What it do, kid? We only talked about the plane landed sequence, your favorite game, or your, I guess you would say, least favorite. I don't know, the most effective game, and what else did we do? Oh, and how'd you felt about it? Just yeah.
Oh yeah, I was watching. Yeah, we can continue from here. I got everything out that I felt.
Yeah. All right, so we have a famous segment called KTLO, Keep the Lights On. And in Keep the Lights On, we talk about the one performer, the one actor or actress that made the show the most interesting and the most palatable. So, who kept the lights on for you guys? I don't know his name, but for me, it was the sneaky cop dude. He was like super Metal Gear Solid out there. That was
yeah. That guy was like a secret agent. Yeah,
that's
right. Like, you're just a cop. Like, what are you doing? You're like in a
that was
Hitman
my
video
nigga
game,
right there.
putting on henchmen's
My
outfits.
favorite character was the old man.
Didn't see that
The
coming.
old man.
Didn't see that coming.
Nah.
Yeah, old nigga was my guy. He was like, I ain't got nothing to worry about. I'm good at all these games. I'm better than y'all. I built up this empire, this fortune. He was just that dude. He was that nigga. And he was that nigga while being old and having cancer.
Damn.
It's
I mean, when you put it like that, he is kind of badass.
Exactly.
The cop kept the lights on. The chick who came in number 3, she was just edgy and emo, and I'm just like, whatever.
Emo chick. Yeah, she was cool.
The two quote unquote best friends, that's typical. So I was just like, whatever. But the cop, bro, my man was about to get abused by some fat gay dude.
Yeah,
He snuck on
I thought he was about
boat.
to take it.
I was like,
no.
Yeah.
Son,
no,
please.
Not at the Dave Chappelle special. No, damn.
That poses an interesting question. Would you take it to save your brother's life?
No.
Nah, he was already dead. Nope.
It depends. I'm not gonna lie to you. It depends on who I'm taking it from.
Nah.
What's that Bugs Bunny mean? No.
Hey man, if it's not a large package, if it's something that I'm not gonna have nightmares about, if it's like
I'd have
Mama
nightmares
already.
I'd have nightmares just by
Yeah,
the thought of that. Like, bro, some old gay rich youngin is about to like have his way with me. Like, no.
Hey, I'm a big dude, bro. I've been to the doctors. If it's like a doctor's visit, it's like, hey man, my brother's life, cool. You know what I'm saying? I can go and deal with this. But if we're talking about like my man works in the porn industry, nah, man, I'm gonna meet my brother when the time comes.
Shit, not my brother. My brother on his own. Fuck no, that man gonna be
on his own,
fighting for his life like R. Kelly.
Oh, not
never
like
gonna
Kelly.
happen.
Not like R. Kelly.
Never going to be the case.
Yeah, the way he was talking was real nasty. If you can pleasure me in 5 minutes.
I'm like, dog, I wouldn't even go to
nope.
jail for my brother. You want me to what? No. No.
Take
Hey
Jerry
man,
Jones's
5
cock
minutes.
over here.
5 minutes to save your brother's life. 5 minutes
Nope.
with Colonel Sanders to save your brother's life.
Colonel
listen,
Sanders.
I put it to you like this: most fights only last 30 seconds, so 5 minutes is a lot of. You know what I'm saying? That's a long time, big home.
If you can't make me do it, I'm not doing it.
Hey, you ever put your food in the microwave for 5 minutes? You be like, God damn, this shit ain't done yet. What the fuck? That's how I feel about that.
Nah. The cop kept the lights on, but I might have to go with my man Wu Shiesty, man. My man Wu Shiesty, he did his thing.
My God.
He got all. I respect his decision at the end to kill himself so somebody gets the money. Because this nigga's about to quit.
It'd have been real stupid.
I respected him at the end for that, but I hated him up until that point because he did a lot of things that made absolutely no sense. Like, it was a lot of like, bro, you're literally like, you're the only person in this game it's a lose-lose. Like, you get out of here, it's not like you can take this money and just go pay back the 11 million that you embezzled. Like, you can literally go pay it back and they're gonna be like, well, you embezzled it anyway. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't really matter. Like, you're going down either way and everybody knows it. So for you, what didn't make sense to me is for him to be killed, murder, kill for other people. You feel me? Like, like, that made no sense. It's like, yo, I'm just mad. Like, I can't think of his name, but like, Indian dude didn't have to die. Shawty didn't have to get her neck slit. Like, for you to do that at the end, that was just disrespectful to the lives. And not to mention, you're a huge hypocrite. You're over here like, the dude wanted to kill himself, and you're like, pussy out here just disrespecting the lives.
Hey, was I the only one that was like, when he was like, when Cuz went to go get help, like, oh, she's bleeding out. I'm like, Cousin, he ain't sleep, bro. That nigga's not sleep. Who's going to sleep in that situation? Nobody's going to just fall asleep. I just cut somebody's head off.
He should have killed him that night, bro. He should have just killed him that night. He should have said, hey, homegirl.
He even said that.
Not to.
Yeah.
Be like, hey, homegirl, you bleeding out, right? I got this. Stab.
Mm-hmm. My whole thing with Wu Shiesty, my man is he was telling people the whole time that he wasn't like he was not trying to be friends. He was like, I'm about this bread. And they're just like, let's be friends. Let's trust this man. Because like he is like clearly not trustworthy. Like he wouldn't be here if he was, dog. Like what?
His face at the cookie challenge was my favorite. It's funny you bring that up when he was just like, I don't know which one to pick. Woo over here like,
Right.
I'm gonna pick that one. I don't know what's going on with this one. I vaguely remember this game.
It's almost like the Killmonger thing at the end of What If, where it's just like, we're gonna pick that guy. He totally won't betray us. Like he totally, that's like all he's done. That's like his thing.
No,
Like,
it really was.
Hey, Hook, I got a quick question. I got a quick question for you. So, if we're doing a segment of who kept the lights on, can we get a worse performer for the show? Because I have one in mind.
Brother.
Who?
The brother.
Not the brother. My opinion, in all honesty, the doctor. Worst actor, worst character by far.
Oh yeah, forgot about that.
He did all that shit and still fucked it up. Like, bro, all you had to do was follow directions. You'll be, tell me about the next game, bro. We don't know. Like, why can't you just take it at that and keep it going? Like, you got here this far.
Yeah.
He was panicking. He's like, I need that edge, dog. Like, help me.
I don't agree with him kirking off the way he did. I will say that's more the story and less the actor. But like in a life or death situation like that, and you feel like that's the only thing keeping you alive, I can understand why somebody would maybe go that far. But I do agree with you. It was just unnecessary for him to do that. That was just ridiculous. Like my man acted like somebody literally refused his crack. He was like, the next game? You ain't got the next game, homie? Like, that was crazy.
And do you guys realize the irony after the fact that all the games are painted on the walls, like in their like sleeping quarters, and like you couldn't tell till they moved all the bunks?
So, I was gonna ask that. So it was there already with the bunks in the way, because I thought it was like, you know, after every game they complete, like a random like the picture came up kind of way.
I think they were just obscured by the bunks, and as less people were there, as they kept dying off, shit, it revealed like that it was there. So it's like you could see it kind of in the background, but you know what I'm saying? It's like an Easter egg almost. Like if you don't know what you're looking at, you just kind of see marks on the wall and shit behind the beds and stuff. But it's like almost like the shit was here all along. These niggas are desperate for like what the games are, and like is literally surrounding them, the clues.
Hilarious. They kind of just use the doctor on it when you think about that, because it's essentially like you said, it was there the whole time, and they were using him to sort of ensure that the game was being fair by snitching on other people, which was that whole situation was just irony written all over it. Like literally you have an insider to make sure there are no other insiders, and you're giving them insider information that they kind of already could know, but they're so desperate for it that they don't know that they could already know it.
That whole situation honestly could have been avoided. That whole situation could have been avoided, because remember the front man was like, well, we don't like cheaters, but he never said anything about them continuing to harvest organs. So they definitely could have got away with that and kept money, like, you know, coming in, bro. They selling organs on the black market to the Chinese, and then all of a sudden, like, hey, let me give you the, like, you know, let me tell you how to cheat, bro. Like, no, you should have been like, hey, look, man, you take these organs out and I'll make sure that you get out the games alive. That's all the hope that you need to give that man. He's already in desperation. He's seen a boatload of people get killed. Just tell him like, hey, we can get you out of here. We know how it's going to end. So just trust us, trust the method to the madness. You know what I'm saying? And get these organs out so we can all get this paper. But nope.
Man.
I'm not, all right. I can't say I'm a fan of, one thing I will say is like, I can't say I'm a huge fan of the show being real, but not very politically correct. I just wish they'd show something other than organs, given that that's a real issue in a lot of like Asian countries of like organ harvesting. Like,
it's in America too.
It's not as bad in over there. Like it's definitely bad over here. We know about like that kid that got rolled up and found in Baltimore with his kidneys gone. Like, but over there, it's like literally it's full on markets. Like it's almost a known thing at this point that you can just buy more organs over there. Right. So yeah, for them to focus on that in the show, I felt like, I'm not gonna lie, politically it's a little in bad taste.
Mm-hmm. Now, with Squid Games being based off of Korean, childhood games, what would be some black Squid Games that we would play?
So before we go any further, I just want to automatically disqualify spades since hey, hear me out.
Okay. Go ahead.
Because you said a child's game. None of us was playing motherfucking spades in the 5th grade.
I can dig it.
And don't try to
Yu-Gi-Oh.
None of us was playing spades. None of us was playing spades until we was at least teenagers at the cookout when, Unc was like, hey, nephew, let me teach you how to play spades. You know what I'm saying? That's when we started playing spades. None of us was playing spades in the 5th grade. Mm-hmm. So, with that being said.
All right, man. I'm starting with like knockout, all the basketball games. Let's see, stuff around the neighborhood.
Yeah.
What's the jump? 500. Toss the ball up. Whoever moss in that jump, you getting the point.
500.
Any type of spoons. Any type of freeze tags. We got all types of variations of tag.
21
dodgeball.
Can you imagine a throwback tackle with 100 niggas on the goddamn field?
Oh, geez.
It'd be like Gladiator.
Definitely gotta get 21 in there. I feel like that's like the king.
Oh yeah, a Negro classic.
Yeah.
7 Up, bro.
Ding dong dish.
Oh yeah,
it's down 7 Up. Hey.
7 Up would be tense. It'd be like, you pick wrong, you die. Like,
exactly. Exactly. It'd be the robot out there.
Dog, ding dong dish would be tight too, because if you get caught, you just get shot. Like you ring the doorbell. We had the door. You better run.
You press the wrong doorbell, you get electrocuted.
Like some high stakes Monopoly out this bitch.
What else we got? For the women, we got double dutch. That was their thing.
Oh yeah,
the ladies at recess.
What about this game?
You said what?
Huh?
What about this game?
Little circle game.
Wow.
Yeah. I just want y'all to know all y'all be dead at the same time, right there.
I just want to let all y'all know. I just want to let all y'all know that I lost the game.
Damn. He's out already.
Duck Goose.
Is that a black thing?
Oh well, yeah. Yeah, that's a black game.
Yeah,
I feel like that's a universal game. I played that with white people as well. They go nuts for that.
But it's a black game because we're faster. Hey!
Whoa!
Whoa! Hey, took it there.
Hey!
My man said it's a black game because we never lose.
It's not. You know what I'm saying? It's not a joke. 70% of the fucking NFL is 70% black. So what the fuck you want from me? What do you want from me?
We could do Duck Goose out here.
Equality.
Some killer Duck Goose.
Hey, yeah.
I'll be moving at 4 speeds.
Talk about four square.
If you don't make it when you sit down and they just shoot your ass.
You gotta add horse. Like,
horse.
Horse definitely.
But horse should be like one of the like later games where there's like less than 20 people, so that way you got 10 rims, and then you got 2.
Yeah. I'm definitely surviving.
So you're not gonna feel some type of way.
Live until the end.
You're not gonna feel some type of way sending somebody grandmother home because she can't hoop.
Oh hell no, bro!
I'm dropping that jaw in their face like KD.
I'm dunking. I'm feeling great. Hands down. And then she gonna go for a layup. I'm like, no, grandma, that's an H because you ain't dunk.
I'm not even gonna lie to you, bro. The second I see any older people, I'm like, yo, let me do you this favor and just get you out of here.
Nah, you gotta pick your partner before you know the game.
That's
you
true.
Pick the 6'8" nigga.
Now y'all got to hoop.
He looks big and strong. He looks big and strong. I want him on my team.
You got to hoop against someone on one.
For some reason, this nigga got kicked out of the NBA for some shit. He's just over here mad and knows how to hoop still. He's still in shape.
He J. Cole, bro. I fuck around and picture Maine. Just
Rap now, nigga.
He wanna-
Rap now, nigga.
He one of them NBA dudes that got kicked out for insurance fraud.
Right. Playing against Michael Beasley in that jump.
I still don't want to see
Yeah.
Michael Beasley. He's still good.
Nope.
No, he's still 6'8" after all the talent leave. He's still 6'8". No,
That's
it's not
true.
gonna happen.
Yeah, you know, no.
All right, so
My top is Taps.
that's Squid Game, everybody. Is any final remarks on Squid Game? Season 2, everybody excited for season 2? No, yes, one offer.
Don't do drugs. Be financially stable. And whenever a guy asks you to hurt him for money, don't accept it.
Was it hurt him?
Oh,
Nah, yeah.
Was it hurt him?
You
No, it
owe me
wasn't hurt
money,
him.
but I can hurt you.
Yeah.
Can't pay it back.
Say no right off the jump. And I bet you, hey, give it about like 5 years. This is going to happen in real life, and the news is going to catch it, and they're going to be like, "Yeah, some people were trying to imitate Squid Games." Like we didn't see that happening.
You would need like a super villain's amount of money to do the Squid Game. Like you would,
like an Elon Musk. Oh, that's
Yeah.
another
Exactly, bro. Nigga Jeff Bezos. Come on,
yeah,
man.
like
No, you don't even need. No, you don't
get
even
Kanye
need
money.
someone.
Fuck.
Bro, you don't even need someone. You don't even need a celebrity, dog. Like I've been seeing enough TikToks of where the people were like, "Hey, what do you do for a living?" I don't know this guy, but apparently he has a shit ton of money because he's driving this 2021 Bentley right now, like top of the line type shit.
Bro,
You don't need people with names. You just need people with cash. And that's
the
that's
organization
easy to find.
of billionaires, bro. Like we got this billion, all them like Arabian princes and kings of them other ass countries that we think are poor, bro.
Yeah.
They be billionaires, man. They could just be like, hey, fuck these citizens.
Not to mention the majority of our billionaires are actually billionaires for reasons that I won't go into during this podcast. But also, are y'all familiar with Palmer Luckey?
With
A
what?
lot of these billionaires are billionaires because their families got money through slavery.
Well, no, they will actually probably be more billionaires than the ones that I'm talking about. But I know because that's real money. But like a lot of these other billionaires just have projected worth in their stocks. But like, are y'all familiar with Palmer Luckey?
Nah.
Keep an eye out for Palmer Luckey. I would just give y'all the TLDR. He's about the closest thing to a real life supervillain that you could possibly get. His whole story, and this is going to be a really short one, so definitely encourage anyone to look this up. He was essentially the creator of the Oculus Rift, pretty much like the leading VR headset. Then when it was bought out by Facebook, he came out as a Trump supporter and then essentially just shunned out of Facebook. He then took his money, since he was bought out from Facebook, and started a military solutions firm in which he sold already several $100 million that's the guy. This is how crazy he is.
That's the picture that popped up. Jesus Christ.
It's the first one because he's that weird. So now he also has a military solutions firm that sells technology to the government to better police the border. And some of the drones that he's using to police the border look like something from the Umbrella Corporation. Like this man literally went from making toys and video game platforms that bring joy to everyone's life, getting shunned by another billionaire, to I'm going to make weapons. He is the closest thing to a supervillain that we currently have.
The Tony Stark villain.
Yeah, I just looked him up. He's actually 29. Like, Jesus Christ.
And he's a genius.
Wow.
I'm concerned.
You say he's how old? 29?
29?
Bro, I'm 29 right now, bro. Damn.
Yeah, don't that make you feel like a
Hey, we have a past birthday to celebrate. My man Sith Lord just celebrated a 29th birthday. Hey.
My man.
Lucky I don't got a soundboard.
Wait till you get to them.
Hey, yo, CJ, I wish you was up here, bro, because you missed the bonfire. That joint was kind of lit. You know
man, that thing was quality. I'm sorry about the glizzy thing, man.
I'm sorry that Hook showed up at the last minute when we were about to close down. You know,
oh man, I still got to show up, man.
Hey, but I appreciate it for coming out, and I understand. We're all adults. You know what I'm saying? Like that. Mm-hmm. People who ain't show up, that don't bother me. I'm like, bro, like we all got stuff we gotta take care of.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Play
was.
outstanding.
You saw I was dedicated this time. I was like, I am not.
He didn't say play outstanding. Fuck you, be back. Why you know I was the only one that's gonna catch that, you son of a bitch?
You would say that for the soundboard.
You knew I was the only one that's gonna catch that. I can't believe you did that. All right.
You gotta get a soundboard.
Listen, I just downloaded one, but I don't know how to work it yet. All right, so
Shit.
yeah, Squid Games. Go check it out. It's a really good watch through, a really good binge. 9 episodes, 45 minutes a pop. Really good show. I would recommend it for watching it. I would recommend, if you got a little, what I'm saying, you got a date situation, it's good date material. You know what I'm saying? If that helps your situation, you know what I'm saying? Unless you already watch this, people getting killed is great.
Make sure you keep it on dub though. If you got the shorty over.
Oh yeah. Shorties don't read.
Hey, I kept this joint on dub the entire time, honestly, because I'm sorry, like I really wasn't interested in it past the red light, green light. So I was just like, it's playing in the background. I can hear the plot. Apparently, the cop's brother is here. Shit like that.
I watched it on dub too. I can't really do subtitles. I mean, I will. The only way I'm gonna do it is if it's One Piece. That's the only way I'm gonna watch fucking subtitles. Don't look at me like that, CJ. You know what time it is. All right, let's go and talk about Dave Chappelle, the closer. Dave Chappelle, the closer, is probably supposed to be slated as his last stand-up on his contract that he has with Netflix. I'm sorry, I don't know the full details. I don't count niggas' money, but it is the very controversial stand-up that has the Twitter going crazy and the alphabet people going crazy also. So, how did y'all feel about Dave Chappelle, the closer?
Stand-up itself was made, but the message was great. In my opinion, don't cancel me.
What'd you say, KB?
I said Dave Chappelle is absolutely right, especially where he was going in talking about the baby, bro. Like, I looked it up and I was like, this man really did kill a nigga in Walmart.
And that nigga, his mother insists that it was not self-defense and that her son didn't do that. So it's not without shadiness, but that's not for me to decide. He still has his
career, bro. Like, still has it. Everything's fine. Like, Dave Chappelle, and he's been doing this for years, and that's what's really like kind of like irks me is the fact that Dave Chappelle has been talking trash about literally everyone years, bro, years, even before the Chappelle show, and people are still hung on the fact of, well, he's talking about people like this. Yeah, bro, it's called being an entertainer. That's his entertainment, and people obviously like it. So just because you don't like it doesn't mean it's not like, it's not, everything isn't suited for everyone. You know what I'm saying? Everything's not supposed to be introduced for literally everyone. That's for that specific community to like, and boom, that's what they like. So then, like, move the fuck on.
I think
you can't exclude the alphabet people from anything. The moment you say something bad about them, they ready to run your ass over. It's crazy. Like, you just can't win with that.
They're not even allowing themselves to laugh at themselves. Like, the thing that we do all the time, we laugh, like, we as a people, we laugh at racist jokes. I mean, just as long as they're not that racist. I mean, they're funny. A lot of them are funny. Right. So I'm like, dog, like, you're not even allowing yourself to laugh at yourself. I mean, he didn't have that many inflammatory things to say. He was just depicting the human experience from his perspective, from being a black man, and I mean, there's always going to be people that takes it out of context, takes what he says out of context because they're not really listening anyway, so can't really expect them to take what he's saying at what he's saying at his complete worth because you're not understanding. You don't even want to listen. There's probably people that watch his stand-up special with the intentions on hating on it because they heard another motherfucker hate on it. You know what I'm saying? You're not even trying to enjoy it. So that's how I feel about it. Plus, I think that if you don't give comics the that's like the one job where you're supposed to be able to talk about everything and make a joke about everything and be able to joke about everything. Like there's a thing that people say, like, you could say whatever you want as long as it's funny. That's it. And you don't give comics the leeway to do that. What the hell is a job? Like, you trying to censor a comic? That's his job, is to say the crazy thing. You're supposed to make sugar out of shit. And life is, our situation is, they have to talk about it. You know what I'm saying? What was you about to say, CJ? CJ's ready to go.
Yeah, I mean, I just did like my first round of commentary for the website on this, and it's a really, really complex issue. It really is, and I wanted to take a couple of days to further educate myself on everything before I even did my take, and including voices in the trans and other communities, because like obviously, like, I'm a Black man, so I can come at it from that perspective through lived experience. So like, yeah, I don't have no problem coming at it from that perspective, but I want to be careful not to speak for other groups, because like I said, that ain't my community to speak for. So having said that, like I said, on the merits of the special, like I said, I gave it a 6 out of 10. I kind of agree with B more with that, where it's like, the jokes it wasn't as funny as most of his stuff, but I think the message was more important. And I think, yeah, and I think, and I'm gonna start on being critical of the Chappelle fans, because largely I agree with everything you guys said, and largely as a Black man, you can predict who I more agree with, I guess, in terms of where I'm going to fall on this. But it is a complex issue, because Chappelle, as you guys said, he's a comedian, not only just a comedian, he's a master class at this type of, commentary and weaving it into his comedy. And like you just talked about, Hook, comedy is like a sacred place where you're able to broach topics that are taboo and able to really bring those things up in the public sphere. So in terms of the jokes themselves, I don't think those jokes were super bad. Like, honestly, like in terms of being offensive, some of them you can say were cheap for like Chappelle, but at the same time, that was part of his overall artistry of him trying to make the points that he was trying to make that I feel like were missed by people on all sides. So like I said, I'm gonna be critical of the Chappelle fans, not us or all the Chappelle fans, but a certain segment of his fan base that I feel like also missed the point as well. As we'll get to how the other groups have missed the point, but the Chappelle fans have missed the point because a lot of them have come out of this basically being like, yeah, fuck the LGBT community, we told you, and like this animosity that I think bears from that legit frustration of like that he talked about, like, damn, their movement's going pretty good. It seems like our shit is stuck, and that frustration I think gives a lot of people legit frustrations. But I think on top of that, Chappelle kind of validated, I think, a lot of people's deep down transphobia and homophobia, and like he's an artist weaving those things into his art. Some people are not. You're not funny. You're not a comedian. You're not making an overall statement. You're just being a dick. And like there's a distinction between those two things. And so I think he did inadvertently. I don't think he's a transphobe or wanted to spark that from his fan base. But I think, like I said, it bothered me because it did remind me of that Trump energy of how the racists felt with Trump. Like he said it, now I can really say it because it's acceptable. But it's like, chill, bro. Like that was not the point of this. I think you're also missing the point. So I think that is dangerous because I have seen legit like uptake of people just being like, yeah, fuck the alphabet people, as they say. And it's just like, that wasn't the point he was trying to make, the conclusion to come to that. On the flip side, I don't think the jokes he made were that offensive. Like I said, at a certain point, this is comedy. Chappelle has had smoke for every group that there is. And when he had smoke for Black people, there were no complaints. And his overall points, like you said, have been illustrated time and time again. The baby situation, can murder a nigga and face less consequences than a terrible rant. And the same thing with John Gruden. John Gruden called a nigga big Michelin tire lips. Was sending emails talking about how he wants players blackballed from the league for protesting and shit. But they knew that. They sat on those emails for days, even when that got out, because a little racism can blow over. Those are not disqualifying thoughts in the NFL circles. But as soon as he said something about LGBT community, my man was cleaning out his desk in 0.2 seconds. So like that highlights Dave Chappelle's point that a lot of people are missing. They're saying, why are you punching down on the community? I don't think we're punching down on a community that's movement seems to be going a whole lot better. And they seems to be, in terms of the media, in terms of society, seems to be a lot more responsive to that movement than our movement. So I don't think it's punching down on a group that you're envious of their rights. And also, I don't like the division that is sowing on all sides, because there's an intersectionality that a lot of people are missing, that there are Black, gay, and trans people. So when you're saying fuck the alphabet people and fuck gay people, you're also still saying fuck Black people to an extent, because there is some overlap in those communities. So you're still causing more division among Black people, which I don't think was the point. I think the point was to get our movement caught up and to highlight those discrepancies in the movements. And like, why don't we get the same type of attention when some shit happens to the Black community? Why is it okay to talk shit about us and that's acceptable? Those type of things I feel like was the point of the special, not fuck gay people. You know what I'm saying? So I think all sides need to kind of recalibrate and just kind of like stop missing the fucking other people's points. It's like I said, just listening to the other side, not being too offended to listen, or not being too much of a dick to listen.
Amen, brother. Amen. You know what's funny? You know, because Dave be on stage and as like a stand-up comedian, he'd be looking out at the crowd and shit, and I'd be looking out at the crowd and seeing people like they reaction to his jokes and shit. Like I kept noticing like people like it was two people. I know y'all know
old white women.
Two
old white women. This man not having it. That entire joint.
Like Dave Chappelle fans.
The entire night.
I'm like,
you show up?
Why would
they were laughing in the beginning.
Yeah,
but
in the beginning,
but it kind of went near straight down. Like it went like, oh, y'all not having a good time at all. And I kept seeing Dave like, oh shit, I gotta tell this joke, and he's like, oh shit, well they don't like this one either. Then he starts laughing and shit after he tells the joke because he's laughing at them because that's funny. That's a funny thing that happened.
Bro, them two old white women were not feeling it. And just
they
like
were
saying, bro,
pissed off. They probably went on Yelp as soon as the show was going on. Like, oh, I don't like this. This shit's going down. Fuck Dave Chappelle. Dave Chappelle.
Would not recommend. Terrible and classless. He's not funny.
I feel like at this point, you know what you signed up for. Like you're going to a Dave Chappelle show in 20.
That's what I'm saying. Dog.
So
this is the surface level of this shit. You niggas I'm sorry, I'm turned up. Y'all cannot handle Patrice O'Neal, Bernie Mac, Red Fox. Y'all couldn't handle them people who are way less eloquent to him, and they just straight up raw. So
Looney.
You know, what was you about to say, Bubba?
So this is sort of my controversial opinion. I'm trying to think of a good metaphor.
Be right back.
Hoist Gracie never needs to kick somebody in the balls. He just doesn't. He's Hoist Gracie. For those who don't know who Hoist Gracie is, he's pretty much like the guy who made MMA by combining like so many different martial arts. And the reason why I say he doesn't need to kick somebody in the balls is because he's that good. And Chappelle is essentially Royce Gracie. In my opinion, I understand that comedy is an art form, but we're talking about a human being here who is worth several hundreds of millions of dollars, turned down $50 million, got more millions of dollars from Netflix, can do whatever the hell that they want. And for them to choose actively to make jokes about part of the community, honestly, I don't see it as a separate part of the community, because I am one of those sort of like tree hugger people who feel like we are all one community, and the day that we start understanding that is the day that we start, unifying and maybe one day overthrowing the government. Unifying and then just having a better time. But in my opinion, it was just in bad taste. It was like, Dave, you're not a small comic. You don't need to make these jokes. You chose to make these jokes for your own sake of mental masturbation at the end of the day. And that's all it really is. With the amount of success that you have, you made the jokes because you want to, and you're proving to the world that you can do what you want to do. And personally, that's not what I really want to watch. I don't want to watch you do what you feel like doing because you're just that powerful. At the end of the day, these jokes, although they were entertaining, I'm not going to lie and say I didn't laugh at those jokes. One of my first earliest laughing at Dave Chappelle's jokes about the LGBTQ community was the famous one he did where they were talking about all the people getting in the car and then the trans person getting in the car and how, that person was kind of there for a while and people were saying they were wilding out. And that was a great one, but it's now been sort of like a unnecessary back and forth where he's just got something to prove. And honestly, I'm just tired of it. I'm tired of him even focusing on this. This is something that, not even for the sake of the point, he's just a better person than this. He's a better comic than this. He doesn't need to focus on these points. So for him to still be doing it, for me, it's just tiresome.
Well, now would you say that is his brand or something he has to evolve from? Because why do you listen to a Drake album?
I would say you have a point, Hook. That is his brand. His brand is, I'm going to fight back against whatever people are giving to me. And whenever the media has an issue with me, that I'm going to do that. But I would just think that Dave Chappelle would have a little bit more class and tact to go, this is not one that I need to talk about. No different than when when he, in his special 846, he waited till after everything happened to get up and speak about that. And he talked about why he did that. Same thing when he was talking about Kendrick Lamar, waiting till after everything happened because they didn't want to take away from the issue. Why is it with the LGBT community, you can go, I don't need to wait until after anything. It's really just a matter of respect. It's really just a matter of reverence, and Dave Chappelle doesn't have it for the community. Now, I'm not going to say that I'm against Dave Chappelle. I still love Dave Chappelle. I look at him no different than Richard Pryor, but I'm going to call a spade a spade. He doesn't respect them. That's why they don't respect him.
Okay. Is that all the thoughts on the Dave Chappelle the closer special?
No, I got one. Just give me 1 second. I got one.
What was you about to say, KB?
Oh, go ahead, Nick.
Well, he said give him a second.
Oh, what?
Still hilarious special, though. I'm not going to lie. I laughed at every joke.
How Dave Chappelle was talking about being canceled with this whole cancel culture, like, at what point will cancel culture stop being cancel culture? Like, you know,
it's already stopped being cancel culture, because like, what does being canceled even mean nowadays?
Exactly. Like you have, like, I'm not saying, so let's just take it out of perspective of, like, say 100 people, right? You have 100 people and somebody release something to 100 people right here, and only those 100 people.
All right, I got something to say. Y'all leave my man Dave the fuck alone. Listen, Dave has been doing this for forever. They've been fighting this nigga for forever. Let him talk his motherfucking talk. Okay, somebody step on my shoe, I'm gonna step on their shoe the fuck back. It just so happens that he has a position of power. My shoe is bigger than your shoe, so it's gonna hurt more. Dave is not Dave is a motherfucking human. He's not no king. He's not a god. He's not above any of that shit. I'm a comedian, and you're gonna use your platform to pressure me? I'm gonna use my platform to talk shit about you. Why does he have to be better? He doesn't. He's a comic. He's had a brand about talking shit. He made fun of R. Kelly for peeing on people. He can make fun of the LGBT people. Nothing is new about this shit. If you don't like it, then shut your bitch ass up and don't watch.
Well, that's what I was going to say. Like, he's the last comic left. Like, the last comic left. I mean, who else do we have to lean to when some shit happens? I mean, it ain't going to be, I don't want those stones at Cat. But, not Cat. I don't want those stones at Kevin Hart, but not Kevin. I would love to see Cat. But that's it.
There's no one making raw comedy like
exactly. That's over.
Like how it used to be,
especially in this climate. Hell no.
With like Def Jam and everything like that. Back when who was it? Martin Lawrence was hosting that shit, and he just had random comics come on, and they would just say the rawest shit. You'd just be like, bro, this is appropriate for TV. Like, bro, we don't have that. We're not in that day of age no more, because everyone, like Howell was saying, with cancel culture, wants to cancel everybody, bro. It's like, yo, 2 people out of 100 people don't like something. Now all of a sudden, well, you're canceled. Says who? Like, the other 98 people still fuck with this work. So where exactly is your cancellation?
It's on brand. if I'm gonna watch a Dave Chappelle comedy, I already know he's gonna talk about the LGBT community because after every single one of his comedies, they try to cancel him, and he doesn't get canceled. So I'm gonna be like on my next show and be like, ha, I'm back, and I got some more shit to say about y'all.
I got a thought about that. I feel like what you guys are saying are like, it's kind of like 50-50 statements because it goes back to what Nick says, right? Like Dave Chappelle has the bigger shoe. And essentially the reason why he can't get canceled is because he's the Amazon of comedy, right? Like even technically Kevin Hart didn't get canceled. Kevin Hart just got bullied into apologizing a good couple of times, but he wasn't really losing all that much money. The last person that ever actually get canceled, meaning they were losing money because of what they did, technically was the Baby, right? Like, and before that, what was it? It was that white comedian that got caught jerking off or something. No money. Oh, he lost a good amount. He lost a good amount.
The Baby lost some money, yeah.
Yeah, he didn't lose so much to be ruined, but it was a good couple M's.
He killed a nigga in Walmart.
He lost some shit.
Yeah. Well, yeah, is the Baby destroyed? Nah, but they tried to cancel him. They was almost successful. Now
he missed 2 festivals.
Yeah. Probably some endorsements.
They canceled his show in Tokyo. Oh, somebody said they had a question.
Yeah, I have a question. Like, so, like, especially Bubba, I remember you made the point that Dave should have like more respect for the LGBT community, and like, you know, like he should be like above it and things like that. But my question is, does any other community respect Black community like that and treat us with kid gloves because, you know, they might offend us, or, you know, any of these racist ass white comedians or any of these racist as anybody? Does anyone ever give that consideration to the Black community of like, oh, they need to go easier on them? Does that ever happen?
No, and you know the worst people who do it is, and I'm sorry, but the worst people are just like how Dave was talking about, bro, like gay white men, bro. Like at the end of the day, you know, hey, yeah, I'm gay and everything like that, but if I'm going to use my platform to get you in trouble, boom, hey, I'm just normal white Charles today. I'm not like, you know, Oniqua with the spirit of a Black woman inside of me, like how they do 98% of the time, bro. Like that's and it's sad.
I feel like the context also has to be brought up here, where, you know, there are other like I'm big into comedy. There's I can never remember everybody's name, but Hannibal Buress, as well as I think the dude name is Frank Lucas. I'm pretty sure I'm incorrect, but they also do jokes about the LGBT community. I feel like the difference with Chappelle is more along the lines because like you're right, CJ, nobody gives us a pass. But I feel like the difference with Chappelle is that the jokes being made now about the LGBT community from successful comedians are about the LGBT community. Dave Chappelle's jokes are more, I wouldn't say against, but at maybe not adversarial, but they were focused at. There's a strong difference when somebody makes a joke of like, you ever take you can't take a rib away from a Black man, versus don't all niggas love chicken and watermelon. Like those are two different jokes. And Dave Chappelle chooses the chicken and watermelon most of the time when it comes down to the LGBT community. It's never been, you know, oh, I felt this way too, or that person, you know, isn't it funny how they do that? It's always critical. It's always almost against. So, you know, you have a point, but I'm just saying he's getting the energy that he's putting out there, because I see other comedians.
But
are you saying he doesn't have equal smoke for all the groups? Because like he gives that energy, he goes after more than just the LGBT community.
But you gotta.
So
I'm not insinuating
lighter gloves. Like, you know, should he go easier on them? Like,
I'm not insinuating that at all. I'm not insinuating that at all. But I will say it's no different than when comedians were making jokes about Black people during civil rights. It's just not in good taste right now. And he's choosing to not be in good taste right now.
He's not choosing to do or not do anything. It's really just a matter of they've been after Dave Chappelle. This arbitrary they have been after Dave Chappelle since he has been doing stuff in regards to the LGBT community. He's always been on the chopping block for them. And literally, at this point, it's a battle of like, well, who started it first? Are they fighting back or is he fighting back? Either way, it's a side. They're trying to hit Dave in the pocket. So Dave's just hitting them in the jokes. You really can't fault somebody for say, oh man, every time I go up there and do a comedy, when I make a minor joke, they're upset. So you know what? I'm gonna be in their ass.
Nick, you missed the perfect opportunity to say what he said in the special. You can't punch him right in the AIDS. You can't do that.
Hey, either way, but it's just a matter of like, again, it's on brand for Dave. He's no holds bar. He's gonna say what he wants to say. He's gonna say what is reflecting his current life situation. They were trying to cancel him from his other stand-ups. So this is just what I expected.
So for me, I can't disagree with any of that. Like I can't disagree with there is, and I think the point that you were also making, CJ, is that like as an artist myself, I believe that one's artistry should always take precedent, especially since like you were the one creating that artistry, right? So if you feel like you want to say this, then you should be able to say that. I agree with that. But I'm also never going to look away from the times and try to pick and choose when I'm going to, decide that this is a perfect thing for me to fight for. For me, the situations are exactly the same. Right now, the LGBT community in general is the hot topic of things going on with the LGBT in the military, in health, and all these other things. So focusing on that for me is no different than when any comedian was focusing on Black issues when Black issues was the topic. It's a willful, active decision, and whether it's a tit for tat, somebody could step on my shoe, and I could step on their shoe back, but I still have to make that decision. Now, if that person is, and this is a terrible metaphor, if that person is a special needs person that's a grown ass man, and I decide to step on his shoe back, that's still an active decision, but nonetheless, I'm stepping on it back. Now, Dave Chappelle, we can all say, hey, he has every right because they've been coming at him, but he's also a millionaire. Like, I feel like I'm one of those people who, you are a different human when you are a millionaire. You have more control and more decisions. No one's telling you what to do.
Is that even a valid argument? Have you not seen how many gay white people are extraordinarily rich?
Oh no, I'm not saying so this is the thing.
It's just that he has a platform and they also have a gigantic platform. They're both using what they have at their disposal to influence each other.
Yeah. But it doesn't change the fact that I don't really care which side has the justification. What I care about is what you do about it, right? Like I can only judge what I'm seeing you do. Now, yeah, like you could say I'm kind of like the cop that comes up to the scene and is only carting away the husband after the wife has been beating him with like a dishpan. Oh yeah, like you could say I'm like that guy, but at the end of the day, I'm one of those white people who look at Black people and I hold them to a certain regard because I was raised that way, I guess. Not to get too deep here, where it's one of those things where it's like, dude, you just don't have to do it. You just don't have to do it. You're choosing to do it, so I'm going to hold you accountable for it, regardless of whatever reason anyone says. Some people are just like, hey, you got all these other things happening, so therefore he has a justification. I'm going to sit here and go, sure, he has a justification, but you still chose to do it, and I'm still going to hold you accountable for that.
Amen.
Ain't he a DC nigga?
Because I can tell you one thing right now. This is a crazy metaphor, but if I walk up and my daughter's husband and like I see a scene where my daughter has a hit on her face and my daughter's husband is there with like blood on his hand, I don't care what she did before that. She could have literally pulled a gun on this man and been like, bang, 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 I'm about to threaten your life. I don't care what he did before that. He's about to get Merry Christmas.
That's a bit extreme version.
It is
not for nothing, but this with Dave's situation, it's all just words.
Yeah, it's superfluous, but definitely it's a terrible metaphor. But like you said,
well, my thing is, like I said before, Dave is the last of the Mohicans. He's the last of the kings. He's basically Jay-Z at this. So I mean, what I'm just like, what do you want comedy to be in cancel culture? Like, what do you want comedians to talk about? What do you want? Like, what do you want from a comedian? Because a lot of these people is not going to report the news that's happening outside. Kevin Hart special, he's going to talk about some fucking brick oven pizza. Like, what do y'all want? Like, for real, what do y'all want comedians to do from now on? Because they can't be too inflammatory without, whoop-de-wop they're coming out. You know what I'm saying? So, hey, I guess both things can be true, and we could just agree to disagree. But is that everything for the special?
Yeah, that's about it, man.
I think so.
It's about
a great special though. Hilarious in my opinion.
Yeah, I really liked it. All right, thank you everybody for joining us on a new episode of FIYAfilmz. Like I said, we have merch available. Go subscribe on YouTube and leave 5-star review on Apple Podcasts. Also, email us at FIYAsquad. FIYAsquadnetwork@gmail to kick it with the squad, say some things, say some kind words, talk about being on the guest, talk about some topics, some shows you want to do, whatever. I have been here with C Jizzle live from Liberty Sizzle, Puffco Poppy, B Mac, Nick at Night, Sith Lord, and Bubba. You know what I'm saying? We're back. Five Squad's back, fresh off vacay, smell like vacay, you know what I'm saying? We're back. We're gonna bring you a whole lot of new podcasts coming. So check out FIYAfilmz, Fire Fade Away, Smoking Fire, Bonfire, and also a couple more shows coming soon. Tell someone you love them, gang.